Abdullah Öcalan, also known as Apo, is a Kurdish nationalistic leader and one of the founding members of the militant organization the Kurdistan Workers' Party in 1978 in Turkey. Öcalan was arrested in 1999 by the Turkish National Intelligence Agency with the support of the CIA in Nairobi and taken to Turkey, where he was sentenced to death under Article 125 of the Turkish Penal Code, which concerns the formation of armed organizations. The sentence was commuted to aggravated life imprisonment when Turkey abolished the death penalty in support of its bid to be admitted to membership in the European Union. From 1999 until 2009, he was the sole prisoner on Imrali Island, in the Sea of Marmara. Öcalan admitted the previous violent conduct of the PKK, but says that the period of armed warfare was defunct and a political solution to the Kurdish question should be developed. The conflict between Turkey and the PKK has resulted in over 40,000 deaths, including PKK members, the Turkish military, and civilians, both Kurdish and Turkish. From prison, Öcalan has published several books, the most recent in 2015. Biography. Abdullah Öcalan was born in Omali, a village in Hafni, Sanliurfa province in eastern Turkey, while some sources report his birthday as being the 4th of April 1948. No official birth records for him exist, and he himself claims not to know exactly when he was born, estimating the year to be 1946 or 1947. He is the oldest of 7 children. According to some sources, Öcalan's grandmother was an ethnic Turk and his mother was also an ethnic Turk. According to Amikam Nakmani, lecturer at the Bar-Ilan University in Israel, Öcalan did not know Kurdish when he met him in 1991. Nakmani, he told me that he speaks Turkish, gives orders in Turkish, and thinks in Turkish. Öcalan's brother Osman became a PKK commander, serving until defecting with several others to establish the Patriotic and Democratic Party of Kurdistan. His other brother, Mehmet Öcalan, is a member of the pro-Kurdish Peace and Democracy Party. After graduating from a vocational high school in Ankara, Öcalan started working at the Diyarbakir Title Deeds Office. He was relocated 1 month later to Bakırköy, Istanbul. Later, he entered the Istanbul Law Faculty but transferred after the first year to Ankara University to study political science. His return to Ankara was facilitated by the state in order to divide a militant group, DevGenc. President Süleyman Demirel later regretted this decision, since the PKK was to become a much greater threat to the state than DevGenc. In 1978, in the midst of the right and left-wing conflicts which culminated in the 1980 Turkish coup d'etat, Abdullah Öcalan founded the PKK. He launched a war against Turkey in order to set up an independent Kurdish state. In July 1979 he fled to Syria, where he remained until October 1998 when Syrians expelled him. Kurdish-Turkish conflict. In 1984, the PKK initiated a campaign of armed conflict, comprising attacks against government forces in Turkey as well as civilians in order to create an independent Kurdish state. As a result, the United States, European Union, NATO, Syria, Australia, Turkey, and many other countries have included the PKK on the lists of terrorist organizations. Capture and trial. Until 1998, Öcalan was based in Syria. As the situation deteriorated in Turkey, the Turkish government openly threatened Syria over its support for the PKK. As a result, the Syrian government forced Öcalan to leave the country, but did not turn him over to the Turkish authorities. Öcalan went to Russia first and from there moved to various countries, including Italy and Greece. In 1998, the Turkish government requested the extradition of Öcalan from Italy. He was at the time defended by Britta Böhler, a high-profile German attorney who argued that he fought a legitimate struggle against the oppression of ethnic Kurds. He was captured in Kenya on 15 February 1999, while being transferred from the Greek embassy to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi, in an operation by the Milli Istihbarat Teşkilatı, reportedly with the help of CIA. George Kostoulas, the Greek consul who protected him, said that his life was in danger after the operation. Speaking to Gündüz on NTV Turkey, the Deputy Undersecretary of the Turkish National Intelligence Organization, Cevat Ones, said that Öcalan impeded American aspirations of establishing a separate Kurdish state. The Americans transferred him to the Turkish authorities, who flew him back to Turkey for trial. His capture led thousands of Kurds to protest at Greek and Israeli embassies around the world. Kurds living in Germany have been threatened with deportation if they continue to hold demonstrations in support of Öcalan. The warning came after 3 Kurds were killed and 16 injured while 1999 attack on Israeli consulate in Berlin. Öcalan stated that his mother is of Turkish origin and that he was ready to serve the people of Turkey in any way. After his capture, Öcalan was held in solitary confinement as the only prisoner on İmralı Island in the Sea of Marmara, although former prisoners at İmralı were transferred to other prisons. More than 1,000 Turkish military personnel were stationed on the island to guard him. A state security court consisting of 3 military judges was convened on the island to try him. Öcalan was charged with and convicted of treason and separatism, and sentenced to death. This sentence was commuted to life imprisonment upon the abolition of the death penalty in Turkey in August 2002. No one had been executed in Turkey since 1984. The Kurdish Human Rights Project may have aided this case's decision. Following the commutation, Öcalan remained imprisoned on İmralı, and was the sole inmate there. In November 2009, Turkish authorities announced that Öcalan would be relocated to a new prison on the island and that they were ending his solitary confinement by transferring several other PKK prisoners to İmralı. They said that Öcalan would be allowed to see them for 10 hours a week. The new prison was built after the Council of Europe's Committee for the Prevention of Torture visited the island and objected to the conditions in which he was being held. In 2005, the European Court of Human Rights ruled that Turkey had violated Articles 3, 5 and 6 of the European Convention of Human Rights by granting Öcalan no effective remedy to appeal his arrest and sentencing him to death without a fair trial. Öcalan's request for a retrial was refused by Turkish court. Proposal for political solution. Abandoning his pre-capture policy, which involved violence targeting civilians as well as military personnel, Öcalan has advocated a relatively peaceful solution to the Kurdish conflict inside the borders of Turkey. Öcalan called for the foundation of a Truth and Justice Commission by Kurdish institutions in order to investigate war crimes committed by the PKK and Turkish security forces. A parallel structure began functioning in May 2006. In March 2005, Abdullah Öcalan issued the Declaration of Democratic Confederalism in Kurdistan, calling for a border-free confederation between the Kurdish regions of eastern Turkey, East Syria, northern Iraq, and west of Iran. In this zone, 3 bodies of law would be implemented: EU law, Turkish, Syrian, Iraqi, Iranian law and Kurdish law. This perspective was included in the PKK program following the Refoundation Congress in April 2005. Since his incarceration, Öcalan has significantly changed his ideology. Reading Western social theorists such as Murray Bookchin, a man Emanuel Wallerstein, Fernand Braudel, fashioned his ideal society as democratic confederalism, and refers to Friedrich Nietzsche as a prophet. He also wrote books and articles on the history of pre-capitalist Mesopotamia and Abrahamic religions. Öcalan had his lawyer, Ibrahim Bilmez, release a statement the 28th of September 2006, calling on the PKK to declare a ceasefire and seek peace with Turkey. Öcalan's statement said, "The PKK should not use weapons unless it is attacked with the aim of annihilation, and that it is very important to build a democratic union between Turks and Kurds. With this process, the way to democratic dialogue will be also opened." He made another such declaration in March 2013. On the 31st of May 2010, however, Öcalan said he was abandoning an ongoing dialogue between him and Turkey, saying that this process is no longer meaningful or useful. Turkey ignored his 3 protocols for negotiation that included his terms of health and security, his release, and a peaceful resolution to the Kurdish issue in Turkey. Though the Turkish government received these protocols, they were never published. Öcalan stated that he would leave the top PKK commanders in charge of the conflict. However, he also said that his comments should not be misinterpreted as a call for the PKK to intensify its armed conflict with the Turkish state. More recently, Öcalan has shown renewed cooperation with the Turkish government and hope for a peaceful resolution to 3 decades of conflict. On the 21st of March 2013, Öcalan declared a ceasefire between the PKK and the Turkish state. Öcalan's statement was read to hundreds of thousands of Kurds gathered to celebrate the Kurdish New Year, and it states, "Let guns be silenced and politics dominate. A new door is being opened from the process of armed conflict to democratization and democratic politics. It's not the end, it's the start of a new era." Turkish Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan welcomed the statement, and hope for a peaceful settlement has been raised on both sides. Soon after Öcalan's declaration was read, the functional head of the PKK, Murat Öcalan, responded by promising to implement the ceasefire, stating, "Everyone should know the PKK is as ready for peace as it is for war." Publications. Abdullah Öcalan is the author of more than 40 books, 4 of which were written in prison. Many of the notes taken from his weekly meetings with his lawyers have been edited and published, notably, interviews and speeches. London, published jointly by Kurdistan Solidarity Committee and Kurdistan Information Centre. 46p. Without ISBN. Prison Writings 3. The Roadmap to Negotiations, ISBN 9783941012431. Prison Writings Volume 2. The PKK and the Kurdish Question in the 21st Century, ISBN 9780956751409. Prison Writings, The Roots of Civilization, ISBN 9780745326160. Defending a Civilization. Sumarahip Devletland and Democratic Ugarliga Volumes 1 and 2. Translation of his 1999 defense in court at the Wayback Machine. Democratic Confederalism.